Hello, my name is Samuel Warwick. I have autism. The entertainment industry has been a huge part of my childhood. So, by being inspired to see other entertainment podcasters interviewing other people from television shows, I decided to do one myself. To know about some funny behind the scenes, bloopers, and some stuff that we probably didn't know about while they were making the certain type of show. This is Entertainment Treasure Talk with Samuel Warwick. Let's go to the podcast now.
And we are recording. All right. Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Entertainment Treasure Talk with Samuel Warwick. I am your host, as always, Samuel Warwick, and I am so happy that you are here always to find out, to see what our guests are and to tune in for our interviews. If this is your first interview, of course, welcome, of course. If this is your interview, if you're still following with us, welcome back, of course. I can't wait for many more episodes to come. We already have episode 25 planned out, which we will plan later. On. We'll explain later on. And but anyway, I have at least 4 other co-hosts with me. I have Wyatt McCullough, Martin Krebs,
Hello.
Jordan Robinson,
Hello there.
and of course, Ben Regis. If I spelled that correctly, I get confused with your.
It's either or.
Okay.
Hello.
Welcome. How are you guys doing today?
Freaking out, dude.
Oh, amazing. Definitely.
Freaking out on the inside.
Yeah. And also,
You know why?
yeah, pretty much I've already spreaded most of the announcements. We do have an episode 25 coming out, and I'm really excited for that. And it's actually a female. So I will explain that later during the interview. And I'm very excited. But anyway, we're going to go on ahead. And this time, I normally tell people, can I ask the question? But I'm going to ask the question so I'm going to ask Wyatt. So Wyatt, who do we have today for our guest?
Thank you so much for asking.
Since you contacted him.
Thank you so much for asking. Yes, I did. Big guest. Guy that's worked on so many shows that we can't even name them all. Scott Kraft is here. How are you?
Hey, good. I'm Scott Gray, but
Scott Gray.
Yeah,
Close
Gray.
enough.
Close enough, but good job.
Close enough.
I know
Good
Scott
job,
Kraft created Paw Patrol, so I'll take that.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to talk to him.
No, I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me. It's
Great.
exciting to be here, and
Yeah.
I love all your swag. Wyatt, I love your Reptar shirt. Man.
Thank you.
You got a whole movers outfit jumpsuit going on. That's awesome. So
Yeah,
thank you.
to be honest, I only have a Ray from Sonic in the background at the moment, but I do have more plushies and stuff like that. I have swag in my box and stuff like that right now. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, but I do have things. So I'm into pop culture too, and it's just very nice. So before I ask, you watched an episode actually before we interviewed. Do you know what episode you watched?
Yeah, I watched the one with Mike Rabb because he's a friend of mine.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I figured because you mentioned saying Mike. So
Yeah.
there you go. We found the episode. That was a fun episode. Fun
It
fact, I
was.
was actually delayed
Ben.
that episode. So
Fun fact. That was Ben's first episode.
yeah, that was
Oh, really?
Ben's
Yeah.
first episode. So
Oh,
there you
wow.
go. And I was a
Yeah.
little delayed that episode. I don't know what was wrong with my computer then, but I don't know what was up, but we at least we got that
Yeah.
episode through, and at least they were able to cover my questions. So
Yeah,
that was
But-
fun. Yeah.
it was.
Anybody who's interested in writers is a friend of mine. So
thank you.
Thank
We're interested in all
Thank you.
sorts. We're interested in all sorts here.
Here we are.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
there we go. So may I ask you? So I like to ask people their origin story. So may we ask you, since you are a writer, how did you first get into writing?
Sure. Actually, I'll go back. I said Scott Kraft created Paw Patrol. It wasn't him. It was Keith Chapman. So sorry.
Yes,
Get
Bob
my
the
facts
Builder. Bob the Builder, and
I
I'm a
figured-
Bob the Builder fan.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But how did I start out? Well, I started out writing like plays in grade school. Believe it or not, I wrote plays about gangsters versus aliens, and I forced my classmates to do them in like 4th grade. And so I've always kind of had the writing bug, and I won like essay contests in school, and I was the annoying kid who had his essay put up on the overhead projector every time, and kids would be like, "Oh, it's Scott's essay again," because I have horrible handwriting. So I've always kind of loved writing, and then when I got into college is when I wrote sketches in college. I went to Arizona State University, and I wrote comedy sketches for a live sketch group there that we performed every week, like Saturday Night Live, except it was Friday afternoons, Friday afternoon live. And I got used to performing in front of a live audience, and it really honed my writing. You know, you figure out the best way to write and to get the best reaction. So that really gave me the love of it. And then after college, you know, it's funny. After college, I was like, I'm going straight to Saturday Night Live because I was young and dumb.
Yeah.
But one of the guys that had graduated from my comedy group was David Spade, actually. So
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, I'm going to call David Spade, and I did. I actually called Saturday Night Live, asked for David Spade, and he wasn't famous yet. He had just started, and they put me on the line with him. He talked to me for like 20 minutes. He was a great guy, but he essentially said if I wanted to join Saturday Night Live, I had to be a stand-up or go to Harvard. So, and I was neither of those. Yeah. So anyway, that didn't happen, and I ended up writing some spec scripts for some shows. Moved to LA. And my first agent who I got, one of her clients, worked at Rugrats at the time. He was a staff writer.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
he got me in the door, and I showed up with 40 pitches for Rugrats, and they took none of them. They didn't take any of them, but they were like, "You've got moxie, kid. This was a good try," and they gave me an episode, and that's how it started. So
I'm kind of curious what those pitches were.
Wow, I should dig them up. They were like
It's all good. It's all good.
they're like one-line things. I was so like desperate and new.
So. Yeah.
They bring it back. Bring you back for the reboot. Come on.
That would be cool.
Also, Ben, I told you your question in DMs.
Right. Yeah, so.
That's all right.
Yeah.
What was it like writing for the Rugrats video games? Because I grew up with them. They're so iconic.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. That's great to hear. Like of the people that talk to me about Rugrats, like I think the video games is what I hear made the most impact on people a lot of times, which is
I grew up with all the ones you wrote.
Oh, that's awesome. I loved them. You know, I wasn't on staff at the time. It was interesting. The staff was all busy writing the show, and I was still freelance writing for them. So and the showrunners at the time, John Cooksey and Allie Marie Matheson, they needed someone to do this extra work, and I was the guy that just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And they're like, "Hey, want to do these video games?" And "Hey, want to write this national comic strip?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So they handed it to me. I co-wrote the first few with them just to get in the groove, and then they set me free on my own. And it was a fantastic experience. You know, the scripts for the show itself are usually about 15 pages. The big difference with the video games is those scripts would be like 100 pages, because you need like 10 different ways for each character to say "grab that" or "look out," you know, or so they were a lot longer, but they were a lot more free form, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've already talked to a few video game voice actors, so yeah, that's. You have to make sure that they have the right line of what to say, and that's. And you also mentioned earlier about being a fourth grader. Honestly, I think fourth grade, in my opinion, with my experience, was definitely one of the rockiest starts. Probably one of the most rockiest parts, because I probably would not want to go back to fourth grade, because I had there were some very rude people in my fourth grade.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
Yeah, there were some snotty kids.
I dealt with those kinds before.
They're in every school. I got beat up occasionally. So.
Ow.
Yeah, even my family members were sometimes that way too. But oh my God, yeah, I shouldn't spread out.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I still love them no matter what,
Yeah.
I switched schools in fourth grade, and that might be part of the reason I started writing so much, like as a way to deal with that. So because I lost all my friends, and it might have been a good venue for me to express myself, so
yeah.
You know,
I gotta ask this because I know there's a difference on the topic of the Rugrats video games. Did you write the PC version of Totally Angelica? Because it's totally different.
Yes, I did.
I grew up. I definitely had that.
Oh wow,
that game's iconic.
Nice.
Boredom Busters
nice.
is what it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boredom Busters.
That's
yeah, that took forever to come up with a name for it. I pitched like 50 names for that. Yeah. That's what that's what I remember most about that one. And the first one I did is Rugrats Mystery Adventures.
Nice.
It's like a film noir parody. And the video games are what made me a full-time writer, actually. I quit my day job to work on the video games. So that was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that does sound
fun.
pretty cool. All right, now I'm trying to think of a show that you wrote for. Oh my goodness.
Lazy Town he wrote for. I have all right here.
So you wrote for Lazy Town. How was it like writing for that?
No, it's story editor. Story editor.
Oh, story editor.
Yes. You've done your research.
Yeah, story
I
editor.
did my research.
Well done.
Nobody does. I do. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that was a really interesting show. Like it was my boss from Rugrats actually.
Oh wow.
Ended up running that show, so that's how I got in on that. He just kind of brought me onto that show next. It was right after Rugrats, essentially, like a year or so after Rugrats, and he had met with this guy in Iceland who was kind of like a celeb in Iceland, Magnus, the guy who plays Sporticus.
Yeah.
And Magnus is a character. The first time I met him, he walked into the hotel room on his hands, like Sporticus.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
So,
I've heard he's pretty impressive.
I have seen videos of him too, and he's awesome.
That's crazy.
He's in Iceland at the time, he was like, it went Bjork, and then as far as celebrities in Iceland, then him. He was like the second most famous person in Iceland. So
oh wow.
And he had developed it for years. It was really a dark story to begin with. It was like about kids trapped in a mine, and they were like, it was very dark in the way some of these European things are. And so my boss at Rugrats came in and helped develop it with them, and we made it like more kid friendly. And but he's pretty much a genius. He was very involved in the show, like to the point where he made like 50 different versions of the shoes he would wear.
Oh wow.
And he flew not a lot of us. He flew like 5 of us out to Iceland after we started, and that was a trip. He lived in like it was in the winter in Iceland, so it was super cold, and we just like stayed inside and ate lamb a lot. And the one fun story I have a lot of fun stories from him, but the one thing that stands out to me years later, and the writers on that trip still talk about it, is he took us out on a drive out in the middle of Iceland somewhere to see a greenhouse. It was like snowfields all around. And one of the other and he was talking up Lazy Town and saying, how much he believed in it. And one of the other writers along was just kind of joking around and said, well, it's not as big as Frasier. Frasier was like the big hit show at that time. And Magnus was so upset, he literally like stopped in the middle of the road and like gave us a speech about how great the show was. And so our big joke was like, are we going to die in Iceland in a snowfield? Like what's going on? So he's a very passionate guy, and he's like super successful. So
I bet it's great to think how the show changed, because we've seen that aired pilot on YouTube, but it's freaking weird with the original Stephanie played by Shelby Young.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah,
it's a lovely weird show.
It is.
When we went out to dinner, this is the other thing. Robbie Rotten, that actor sadly passed away.
Yeah.
Yes, we know that. That was a sad time. Let me tell you, he was great.
Yeah,
he was.
He's amazing.
Yeah,
and
he was awesome.
He was so fun. We'd go out to dinner in Iceland, and he'd be like Robbie Rotten at dinner. He'd grab like peanuts from the table and be like, "Let me."
Oh, wow.
He was hilarious. So.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And also, you mentioned the fact that the dude that played Sporicus, Magnus, had a fit.
He got upset, like as the writer was a little bit out of line, I think. So, it was probably justified, but Magnus was really trying to make it successful still, So
Well,
he
did.
He did.
Yeah.
It still is. It's on YouTube now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that. The songs are really catching on still.
They are.
Yeah, the songs are catching on.
Actually, very recently, he got the rights back to Lazy Town.
So we could be seeing a
Magnus?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh wow.
I hope we see a reboot.
Oh,
If there
wow.
is one, would you be down for it?
A reboot?
Yeah.
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 I
They're
love
doing
it.
everything now.
Hope
They
so.
did Blue's
That would
Clues.
be
Why not
good.
bring it back?
I would have been on that show longer, except he wanted everybody to move to Iceland, and my
Oh.
boss didn't want to move to Iceland. So
Yeah.
and about a year later, Magnus and the company called me and said, "Would you move to Iceland now?" And I had a young son at that time. He was like 1,
Yeah.
so I couldn't move. But like,
Yeah.
I would have totally worked on the show more.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
I don't know how many, but I know Ben has questions.
Yes.
I think I have like a few. So the first, I'm just gonna say for the first one, what was it like working on Blue's Room?
Yes, I want you to clear something up also, because about Blue's Room, there's IMDb and the Blue's Clues wiki confirming you wrote 2 different episodes. Like they're totally different.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
Like,
a great question, man.
IMDb says you wrote Beyond Your Wildest Dream. Then the Blue's Clues wiki says you wrote Little Red Riding Blue. Can you please clear this up?
You guys are really good at the trivia. I love it.
Blue's Room.
I wrote
Yeah.
both of those to my memory.
wow.
Yeah. So
Oh, nice.
so hopefully I'm credited on both the right way.
You are.
And it's a great question, Ben. I don't get asked about Blue's Room hardly at all. So
Wow.
I never worked on Blue's Clues, but I knew a lot of those people.
Yeah.
And then later when Blue's Room was going on, I think I forget who I was in touch with. Wow, it's been a while, but it was a good experience. You know, it was they had a lot. It was freelance, obviously. It went pretty quick, but it was great to be a part of the Blue world. You know,
Yeah.
I'd known people worked on it. I admired it, and it was a pretty smooth process from what I remember. They're all super nice. You know, most of the people in kids television actually all of them are super nice, and a joy to work with. So. Yeah, and I didn't get to see it filmed or anything because they were in New York and I was in Los Angeles, but that would have been fun. But it was a fun show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You wrote the series finale for it too.
For which
With
one?
the Music Stars.
For Blues Room?
Yeah.
Oh, was it
Stars.
really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I ended the show.
There you go.
It was so bad they stopped.
What?
It was but it was definitely an incredible show. I had the opportunity to talk to Cheryl Blaylock, who was Frederica on another podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on another podcast before this. So
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know Adam Peltzman, who was the head writer for Blues Clues originally. So,
oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He's a great person to
Cool.
talk to as well. But yeah, I've been in with the Blues Clues folks for a while. So yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe help us get some of these people. Because we could
Yeah.
use help getting some of these people. Reach out.
Seriously, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you keep in touch with anybody from that show?
From Blues Room?
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of. You guys have picked one of the ones that I remember the least, sadly. So
Wow.
I'm gonna look it up right now while we talk, if you don't mind, and see who.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's probably people. There's probably people that worked on it that I am still in touch with. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna use the old
Yeah.
IMDb.
Yeah, you want to know something? The fact that Blue's Clues is so popular and that's your least, like, bro.
It's weird. It's
Like,
crazy
yeah.
because it came back and now it ended.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
come
Yeah,
on.
Junior took it off the air.
Yeah.
Paramount Plus took it off completely.
Oh,
I
really?
know,
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
it stopped airing on the channel. They just took it off.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Blue's Clues
that's
is
crazy.
great. Blue's Clues is great. I love Blue's Clues.
Yeah.
And,
Me too.
then the
I
way they-
especially loved the episodes with Joe.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
The
the
way
episode
they
Those
Yeah.
go.
The way
I
they
think
spun
the
it off
show's
into Blue's Clues was
overhated.
so perfect because they introduced sprinkles that way.
Yeah.
Joey Mazzarino.
Yeah. Also,
Oh, yeah.
I grew up watching Steve on Noggin, and then later I watched Joe on Nick Jr. So
Yeah.
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 Oh, that's great.
yeah.
I'm looking at the credits now, and I know a lot of these people. It was directed by Quayle Chanda and Dave Palmer, who are people I've known for years. And I worked with both of them on a show called Wally Kazam. For
Oh,
Nickelodeon.
I've heard
Yeah,
of that.
I
I've heard
remember
of that.
that.
I've heard of
Yeah,
that.
and
I remember that.
Adam Peltzman created that show actually, and
Wow.
I know Dave is great. Dave Quayle's great. I know them really well and still in touch with them. Sasha Palladino was a writer on. I know Sasha really well.
Yeah.
In touch with him. So yeah, I know most of the people who've worked on it.
There you go. Just help us get these people.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, of course. Help us get these people. You know,
I
we're
know
always
you
looking for
mentioned Adam.
guests.
Fun
Happy to.
fact: I didn't even know about this until Angela put it on her Instagram. Adam was the voice of Green Puppy on the original Blue's Clues.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh
Which
yeah,
is
oh
insane. I didn't know that.
yeah.
I actually call him Green Puppy still to this day.
That's
Green
awesome.
Puppy. Bow,
Yeah.
bow.
I'm
And
not
they
sure he
had
likes
incredible
that.
voices. They all the puppies had incredible barks too. I gotta say, Tracy and
Tracy can still do it, which is amazing.
yeah, they can do it. God, if we get them on, I'm gonna definitely ask them to do Blue because
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask Blue questions.
Yeah.
Talk to Adam about Green Puppy.
That's
Hey,
good.
Jordan, good job, Jordan.
I'll bring this up.
That's awesome.
The audio, the people who are watching this episode can't see it, but Ben actually has the Blues Room Blue in his background, which you can barely see, but she's right there.
Oh yeah, she's huge too. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She's like bigger than you. It looks like.
Yeah.
She is.
I see Blue
Yeah,
back
it's
there.
actually on my desk right here.
Okay.
Yeah, he cleared
see
off the
Blue.
desk for you. You're welcome.
And
Oh,
you've got
you
a
wanna-
Spartacus figure there too, Ben. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and you want to know something? I actually used to have a couple of. I think I did have a Blue's Clues from the Joe era, but I think the DVD is now maybe could have been deceased now. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know. I did have a lot of Blue's Clues stuff, but I don't know what happened. And actually, wait, I think I had a Blue's Clues book at one point. I think I had a Blue's Clues book, but I think I didn't had a figure to pull it out because I think some people wanted to move rooms. Some of my family members wanted to move rooms, so around my house, so I wasn't able to get it.
Jordan
Sadly.
Martin, you got a question? Jordan
I
Martin,
have
you got a
Blue's
question?
Clues book. Wait right here.
All right.
All right, Martin, you got a
Fun
question?
fact. Martin,
Wait,
you
fun
got a
fact.
question?
Oh, go for the fun fact first. Go for the fun fact first.
Yeah. Fun fact: Ben rented Blue's Clues books from the library the other day, and they're still around.
Yes.
Yeah, go.
Oh wow.
Martin
All
has
right.
a question. I saw
Yeah,
him raise
Martin,
his
go
hand, by
ahead.
the way.
Go
That's
ahead,
awesome.
Martin. Go ahead.
Got it.
Go ahead.
Scott, wait a minute.
Oh, there's a book.
Thanks,
Oh, that's
Jordan.
awesome.
It's a book.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I mean,
Jordan.
I even have a video with Joe. It's called
Nice.
Blue's Clues, Shapes, and Colors.
That's
I
the
had
one
that.
I had.
I have it too.
Awesome.
That's like such
And
a
on
nostalgic
DVD,
video.
I had Blue Takes You to School.
Nice.
Ooh.
That's a
Yeah.
good one.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Continue, Martin. You had a question.
Yes, I did. Hey, Scott, I was wondering, what was your favorite episode to write on Lazy Town?
Oh, yes.
Edit. What was your favorite episode to edit? I'll hope to.
Oh, good questions, guys.
We get
Yeah, I story edited probably about 10 episodes is all, and then he wanted us to move to Iceland, and no one wanted to move to Iceland. Although it's more popular now, but it's a great country.
Yeah.
So I don't have a lot to choose from, and I think I wrote 2 episodes is all, fully mine. But my favorite of those episodes was an episode called Defeated.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. I remember that one.
Isn't that like the soccer episode or something?
That's
Or
the
like a
one where
robot?
That's where
he gets
Spartacus
the
had to
remote
do a
control boots
stunt,
from
but
Robbie.
Robbie Rotten
Oh,
gave
yeah.
him
Yeah,
crazy
remote control
shoes.
boots.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Robbie.
Oh yeah.
Robbie gives him remote control speakers and messes with his feet. So
Oh yeah.
And he walks on his hands in the episode. I remember that.
Oh
exactly.
yeah. That's funny. That was funny.
That whole episode was because I know he walks on his hands, and I'm like, how can we work that in? So,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a fun one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and you know, I loved where Robbie Rotten always tries on the different outfits. Those are like super
Yes.
fun scenes to write.
Oh,
And,
He even
yeah,
had a
those
song.
are
He even had a
awesome.
song for it, "Master of Disguise."
yeah.
Yeah.
And he was a vacuum salesman in that one named Rob You Blind, which
Oh yeah.
I remember Matt Magnuson really liked that joke. So that was a super fun one. And
Yeah.
It's disguise time.
It's the sky.
Nice impression. Nice impression.
Nice.
Nice impression. Nice
Nice.
impression there.
Congratulations, you're the new Robbie Rotten.
Yeah, yeah.
Make it animated. Bring it back as animated. Come on, they're bringing everything back.
They are. They are, I gotta
We
say.
need, heck, Blues you just did. We don't have any kids shows now besides Don Quixote.
I think Ben had a question. What's your question?
Yeah, I know Ben does. All right, Ben.
Okay, now I want to get to this. What was it like working on Imagination Movers? Because, like, season 1, I saw that you wrote on, I think, like, all the episodes for, and that's, like, really nostalgic to me.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you like the show. And Ben, I have to note again that you're in a Movers jumpsuit, so you're a total awesome fan. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That just made his day.
Does it say Mover Ben on it? I can't see.
No, it's just Smitty on it.
Oh, Smitty,
What's
okay.
it say on it?
Okay. That's awesome. So again, like Imagination Movers was a show that my boss from Rugrats and Lazy Town ran. So I kind of like followed him around to that show too.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Yeah. And
Mixture.
Rick Gittleson, I should name him. He's my mentor in the business. Rick Gittleson, fantastic guy, really gave me a lot of breaks in the business. And so
we should get him.
It was
Yes, let's get him.
Yeah, I'll ask him.
Ooh.
So Movers was fantastic. They're all, I can honestly tell you, they're all great guys. Like,
yes.
They are lovely people. You know, they went through Hurricane Katrina. They're like school teachers. They're really just involved in the community and helping people. They really care about kids.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I know this is going to probably tick a lot of people off, but I honestly preferred them over the Wiggles. I kind of did. Because,
totally better.
Yeah.
Because here's why. First of all, the Movers, you know, I felt they didn't do a lot of weird things, just like, you know,
Good point.
they didn't do a lot of weird things just like the Wiggles did. They didn't have somebody that was just always up, just trying to be funny. Like, you know, we all know Captain Feathersword, and just the way that just the way that, like, you made a character that I always just found it weird. Just why would you have a pirate that just has a feather sword and just likes to tickle people? That to me just sounds a little weird. I did not like that. I did not like that. I'm sorry. And just some of the things that they did, just some of the things they did when they first started was just, a lot of their stuff was unsettling. I'm gonna be honest.
Especially the first costume of Dorothy the dinosaur was super scary.
The first Henry, freaking bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yes.
And even some of the episodes in season 1 and season 2 were horrible too. I'm sorry. Some of the episodes to this day were just, oh my God. I couldn't even, when I was a kid watching them on Playhouse Disney, I was just like, what am I watching? Why am I watching? I think I remember Jeff had like would sing like opera and a female, and I kind of found that a little weird. I kind of found that. I'm like, so I can have a girl's voice now. Great. Jeff's a female. Great. Not trying to judge any, you know, LGBTQ people. Not trying to judge that, because that honestly that has nothing to do with LGBTQ. To be honest with you, just, you know,
it's a weird episode. I agree.
Just it's weird. And just the fact of Captain Feathersword and his high voices, but don't worry, their music is catchy. Their music is catchy though. But I kind of had a soft spot more for the Imagination Movers.
Yeah,
agreed. Yeah. The other thing about the Movers, there's two other things I can mention, Ben, and you're right. Like the Movers they're rock and roll. Like the Movers is Wiggles is a different style. The Movers are more rock and roll and like they're contemporary. You know, the Wiggles is not quite that. But the great thing about the Movers too is they're all super funny. So they'd all sit around and crack jokes and punch things up and throw in their own jokes. A lot of the runners.
Scott, though.
Sorry.
Especially Mover Scott, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
They're all really funny, and a lot of the stuff you see in the show, a lot of the recurring bits, is their idea. You know, because they had this act long before the show. And the other thing that was amazing about the Movers is you know, you'd write an idea for a song and just put it like a paragraph. They sing. One of the first episodes I wrote was Windy Day. It was in the warehouse where there's a wind.
Wind room.
Yeah, the wind room.
Oh.
And they needed a song, so I just wrote, you know, the Movers write a song called Gust of Wind or something like that. And then literally like 2 days later, they had this finished song that was amazing, and I'm like, wow. So I still listen to their songs. Like
same.
That episode
Yeah. Sorry.
That episode is actually called "It's a Breeze." I remember.
Yes, I
Great
watched
show.
that episode. I love that episode. That was one of my favorites, actually, as
Me
a kid.
too.
Do
Oh,
Yeah.
you,
thank you.
do you
I
still
was
keep in touch? Do you still keep in touch from anyone from that show?
yeah, I keep in touch with pretty much everyone from that show,
There you
honestly.
go.
Like, yeah. Yeah, it was a great show, and I
Hold on.
saw them film It's a Breeze. Thank you, I forgot.
Wow.
We were trying to name all the episodes after puns, but we couldn't make it last after a while. But
Yeah.
I went to New Orleans. I love New Orleans, and I went to New Orleans for the first time to watch them film It's a Breeze, and it was amazing. So
Awesome.
Hopefully we can have them on to talk to them about this.
Yeah, please do. We would love to have the movers. Please
yeah,
do.
I'll put up a word with everybody. So
Yeah.
Scott accepted me on LinkedIn after I requested it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to contact Scott.
Yeah, Ben's gonna talk to Scott.
Awesome.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I have this up because speaking of the movers, you also worked on the spinoff in ways, which is Warehouse Mouse. What was that like?
Yeah, I remember
yeah, wow.
that.
You guys are well researched. I'm still impressed. So,
we do our research.
yeah, Warehouse Mouse we kind of did it while we were doing the real show, the main show, and so it was kind of just the same people that were writing the main show, and it was a separate contract and all that stuff, so they saw it as a different show, but it didn't feel a ton different than doing the regular show because we did it pretty much when we were still working on the regular show. Yeah. And it was super fun. Like, I grew up on Warner Brothers stuff, like visual, Coyote and the Roadrunner, and
yes, I love Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah,
nostalgia.
Yeah. So to me, like, I'm a writer, but the cartoons I like the most are the ones that have the least writing, almost, like that are just visual. Yeah.
Yeah, then you see that there's like then you can see some potential for them.
Yeah. Yeah. And Warehouse Mouse was like that. Warehouse Mouse, whereas Warehouse Mouse was very visual and very like gag based, and that's what I loved about it, So
of course. And just going back to what I was saying earlier about, comparing, the Wiggles towards them, us just, it's just the fact that I know, like I said, I know a lot of people are probably gonna hate me for admitting that. Not because I'm just not I'm not the biggest Wiggles fan, and just you were right when you were saying that they used to throw jokes. I don't even I think the Wiggles were trying a little bit too hard to be funny, and it got to a point where some of their stuff was like, no, this isn't funny. This isn't funny anymore.
I respect your
It was
opinion.
plain weird.
I did too.
But
the Wiggles were kind of pioneers too in a way, and it's kind of hard to be the first in some ways. But I think the big distinction is their style of music is just so different. But I will say, like, I don't know if you've seen the Wiggles documentary. It's a brilliant.
I have.
Yes, it is.
I have
actually.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it is neat.
But you know what? The nice thing about both of them is that they really care about kids. Like the Wiggles, a lot of them were teachers too. So
they were. Yeah, I mean, I give respect for their music though. Like their shows, like Rags. That was another one, and that I listened to. And there's they were the Dogs. If you don't know, they were Dogs. And then High Five, that was great too.
High Five
was great. High Five was great, and that was on a very rare channel. Too. Ready Set Learn, which is another rare block, which we're going to be talking about, which we will be talking about more as we get guests, because so
don't even get started on the whole Fresh Meat Band, because I don't remember how Ben found it, but there's like a rivalry between the Movers and the Fresh Meat Band.
Yeah.
Oh my.
There was like this weird article that the Movers that said like the Movers sued their ex-manager for like favoring the Fresh Meat Band. Or something.
I'm not bringing up if we talked to him, but that's weird. It's weird.
It's I mean, I don't know if it's true, but I heard the Fresh Meat Band was kind of inspired by the Movers. Like it was trying to be like a copy of the Movers.
Yeah.
Like
And they were formerly known as the Jump Arounds.
Yes, that was their pilot name. That was their pilot name.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. Fresh Bright. The Fresh Beat Band. The Fresh Beat Band isn't bad either. I used to watch the Fresh Beat Band too. I may not have
Me
as much
too.
I may not have as much memories as I do with like other shows, but they were still pretty good.
I haven't watched them actually. Yeah. So, but I know High Five well. Like my kids loved High Five.
Oh,
And,
so so you watched the Ready Set Learn block too? Did you watch it? Yeah, you watched.
Probably.
Yeah, because that's the channel it aired on. It aired on Discovery Kids and TLC's Ready Set Learn block.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's probably where you watch it, or you could have picked up a DVD. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was on TV. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Here's I gotta ask you this, and I'm surprised that everyone didn't ask this. Do you know the show Animal Jam? Because that was also on that block.
Yep.
Yeah. You know Animal Jam. Awesome. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. Thank you.
Nobody knows about that show except for us.
Yeah, because you want to know something. That's actually one of the reasons why I have I have so much respect for Ready Set Learn, because they created that show.
They did.
And it's pretty good.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Ready Set Learn. It was on that block. The Ready Set. I think they created it for the Ready Set Learn block, but they did. It was from the Henson Company. I don't even think you wrote. I don't even think you wrote an episode for the show. Did you?
No, I'm looking at it right now. I know all the writers.
Wow! We'll put in a word for them. Say that we need
more
more Animal Jam.
It makes Samuel's dream.
Yeah. Because
here's okay. I have to ask you this before we get something, because I see Ben has a question. Do you know about the guy that did Bozart's Do you know about the guy? You're friends with David Maida?
Yeah.
Bozart.
Oh, what is his name again? David
Maida.
I don't think so. No.
Okay. I was going to say, so I've been trying to track this guy down for I don't know how long to interview him. I haven't. And also, Ben has a question I saw.
Yes.
Okay. So my question is, another question about the Movers. What was it like winning the Writers Guild Award for the Movers?
Oh, that's a great question, Ben. You've done your research too. It was it was amazing. Like I love the show. It was a great show to work on. We'd been nominated the 2 years before that and lost. So we lost 2 years in a row. And it was the third year that we were nominated that we won. So that was super cool. I think the show actually might have been over at that point when we won. That happens a lot. Like when I was on Rugrats, we won an Emmy on Rugrats, and the show was over after we won it. So,
wow.
Yeah, you're standing around with a lot of people you haven't seen in a year, and it's for a show that's over. So it's always interesting, those award ceremonies. But it was super fun. Like the Writers Guild Awards are cool because it's all writers from all levels of writing. So there's feature writers, there's kids writers, there's TV writers. Unlike the Emmys, where you're just kind of in your separate category. So I think that was the year James Cameron was at the Writers Guild Awards, and like Larry David was there one year. I get it all mixed up. There were huge people there, and the movers weren't there, sadly. It was just kind of the execs on the show and the writers, because I don't think the movers were credited as writers mostly. So it was just a bunch of writers and executives, and my parents actually came. It was the only awards show they'd ever come to.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Yeah, and so that makes it super special to me. And my dad hates getting dressed up. So he was like, "Oh, I got to wear a tux, but I'll wear it just once," So
I know how it feels. I don't like to dress it up either.
I'm not a good dress up person. I like to dress casually.
Same.
Yeah, and I wore a tux too. So they were there when we won, and that was fantastic. And
that's awesome.
So yeah, it was a really great night, and they had it at, they're not really fancy, these places, I don't feel like, but it was somewhere downtown LA, and we had like a buffet dinner beforehand, I think, but it was awesome. It was a great time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I've actually wanted to mention, because earlier we were talking about Blue's Clues, and this is just something pretty rare. So, so watching, I think I remember in the early parts of the Blue's Clues tapes, if you guys don't know, some of you guys actually triggered my memory for this, but recently I came across something called, Nick Jr. had like a music thing, and one of their things was, there was a girl named Judy Lou. Does anybody remember that?
No,
it was like a tape. I was like, oh. Yeah, it was like you know what? Thinking about it, I think it was rare because it was maybe in maybe one or two VHS tapes. Maybe I don't entirely know, but you have to have like a Blue's Clues tape to really. Yeah, you may have to dig. It was one of the older Blue's Clues.
Yeah, you stumped me. I don't know.
Yeah,
now.
it's official. You Google it. It's on. It's official. It's out there. It's on
What
YouTube.
TV is it on?
It's on YouTube. Just look up Nick Jr. Judy Logan. That's how I found it.
So Ben, can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So you've obviously seen all these shows in reruns, I guess, because you're obviously young.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you find them, and how did you gravitate toward these kind of older shows?
Well, I do have a lot of memories. You know, like remember when like Playhouse Disney turned into Disney Junior?
Yep.
When I was like 3, I have like vivid memories of watching The Movers season 1 on TV, and I also watched like Sprout. I watched a lot, and I also watched. Yeah, that's where I watched Lazy Town, and then I watched reruns of Blue's Clues on Nick Jr. and stuff. Stuff like that. And I don't know. I always liked older shows like that.
Yeah.
And I don't really like the newer stuff, even though I'm like younger than like.
He's the youngest one of the podcast.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You have excellent taste.
And actually, Ben, I'm gonna actually try to actually answer your, try to add to your question, Ben. So those shows at that time, it's incredible that they were able to rerun them for the longest time, and other channels just discontinued. Like, of course, the Ready Set Learn block did, and then some of Noggin discontinued after probably a while. Once it hit Nick Jr., a lot of Noggin probably discontinued. So, but because most of those shows were Canadian, so I found that out that most of those were Canadian. So
yeah,
it's a shame that stuff like Ready Set Learn and all Ready Set Learn did not have its own channel or didn't have its own. They should have had a longer block for it, because that way people could have known. And you said almost all those writers, like Mark Hoffemir and Bradley Zegg, and trying to think what else. Yeah, I tried getting Mark Hoffmeyer, by the way, but I don't think he ever got back to me. Like maybe a couple of years ago, but he never got back to me about it. So
Mark Hoffmeyer? Yeah.
Yes.
I know Mark. I'll have to put the word out for you guys with everybody I know. So
nice.
Thank
you. Just
you.
send my email. You have it.
Because I'll be honest with you, that show is lost, and that show has potential. I know, because I've posted a lot of the episodes, and we found a lot of them, and this show has potential. The Animal Jam has potential.
It does.
It really does. And once the episode gets out, I'm sure everybody's going to be talking about how great it is. And so does Big Bag. Big Bag actually has a lot of potential in it too.
It does.
So does Big Bag. I don't know if you know Big Bag or not. It was another show. Yeah, it was a show that was shot in Florida, just like Animal Jam was shot in Florida.
The only thing I've heard of it from is like I know that Elmo made a cameo appearance on it.
Yeah, he did.
Yes, Kevin Clash Elmo did. Yeah.
Yeah.
On Big Bag, is that what it's called?
Yeah. Big Bag.
It's on
Yes.
YouTube, the clip is.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know that. Wow.
Yeah. And speaking of Big Bag, actually, I'm gonna go on ahead and just say the guest's name, because actually this guest just said she's gonna check out some of the podcast. Our next guest for episode 25 is Tessa Ludwig. If you did not see the Instagram post, it's Tessa Ludwig, as a lot of you guys know, Tessa Ludwig. So get your questions in either this video or go on Instagram and ask, and we will be happy to give Tessa your questions. So and speaking of questions, I'm gonna go on ahead. After Ben. After Ben, asks this question, I'm gonna go ahead and get the questions up. I'm gonna go ahead and get the questions up.
I did have one last question because I haven't asked about it yet. I almost forgot. What was it like working on Handy Manny?
Yeah.
Oh
yes.
I was hoping you're going to ask that because I see the giant Manny right there.
Yeah.
Manny again. It all comes back to Rick Gittleson for me. Like after Imagination Movers, the next show that Rick had wrote was Handy Manny. So and Handy Manny didn't have a writing staff of like staff writers or no full-time writers.
Wow.
Yeah, it was all freelance writers. It was Rick and then a bunch of freelance writers. So it was a different kind of situation. I probably wrote like, I don't know, 11 of those over 3 years or something. And it was a super fun show. Like it had a great cast. That was one of the great things about Manny. And I remember, aside from the show, it's just very sweet and it's funny. The tools are funny. I think it's just a well done show. But I went to a couple records, and there you'd be standing around with Tom Kenny, who's SpongeBob.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Tom Kenny, Nikki Futterman. I'm trying to think.
Yes.
I'm trying to think.
Fred Stoller.
Yeah, Fred. Yes, thank you. That's what I was going to say. Fred Stoller.
Yeah, Lance Bass was in it occasionally as
and then,
Manny's cousin, I think.
And then Carlos
Alazraqui.
Yes.
Amazing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Carlos I knew from college. He actually did stand up at my sketch comedy.
Oh wow.
Oh. Yes, dude, we got to get him on. He's great.
We'll bring you both. We'll bring you back, and you can talk to him.
Carlos is awesome. So Manny was a great cast, and it was just a super fun show. It was very community based, and it was a little sweeter than probably some of the previous shows. Like it wasn't quite as wacky, but the tools were fun. And we did a charity auction at one point. Oh no, it wasn't a charity auction. I have a piece of memorabilia from Manny that is the tool chest. It's a kit of tools.
Wow.
And it's signed by all the cast, which was super
nice.
cool. So
awesome. That's incredible.
And of course, Manny was Wilmer. Wilmer Valderrama.
Yes.
So it was cool to hang around with him because he was, he was big at the time and still is. So
Yeah. I gotta say this: Handy Manny was an amazing show because the fact that I don't know if you know this because my grad didn't know about this. It had a crossover with Oso, Special Agent Oso.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Which Krista Tucker wrote that episode.
Yeah, I know Krista well. Yep.
I've been trying to connect with her on LinkedIn. Hopefully, you can help us.
Okay,
I'll
just
email
email
her about that episode. That's iconic. I remember that.
Oh, that's great.
Nice. So, actually, since we're actually over 45 minutes in, we're going to go on ahead and get on with our fan questions. So,
which I do have two on my end.
Okay, yes. And our first question comes from, we're going to start with the Nostalgia channel first. And she asked, what do you think of the Movers? She actually asked, too, what do you think of the Movers? She wants to know that. I mean, of course, you've said before, great guys.
Right. Horrible guys.
Yeah.
No. They're great guys. They are just
great and awesome guys. And I would hang out with them. They sound pretty cool.
We're gonna hang out with them on this podcast.
I hang out with them. Hey, maybe we could go get some adult beverages. Yep. Maybe drink.
Imagine this: get all four of them on this podcast. That'd be insane. Let's do it.
Another real quick to show you how nice the Movers are. Sorry, they had my parents come to a show, and they were in the town my parents were living in, Phoenix.
Oh, wow.
And, they gave them backstage passes, and they were super nice to my parents. So they're just the nicest guys. So.
And I was kind of joking, by the way. I was joking about the whole, getting, maybe we could get a drink or a beer or something. I was joking about that.
I was joking too, but it'd be cool.
But but it still would be cool. It still would be cool if we could get a light beer or something. That would be great. I mean, hey, they sound pretty cool guys.
They'd be They're great to hang with. Yep.
Yep, and then she wants to know, what's your favorite episode?
Oh, of Imagination Movers?
Yes, what's your favorite episode that I think you wrote? I don't know if it's your favorite episode overall, but
yeah, just the one you wrote.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm gonna go with one I wrote, I guess. They're all great in their own ways, but the one that stood out for me as really being a great experience was Captain Terrific.
Yes. Darren Norris.
That was good.
Yes,
that
Darren
was
Norris.
That
he was amazing.
I rocked him.
I wrote that episode, and it turned out exactly the way I saw it in my head. He nailed it, and it was such a fun. As a writer, you're always wanting to see it the way you hear it in your head, and he was hilarious. So.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, it's just incredible.
Nice. I've seen him in interviews and stuff, and he's awesome.
Yeah, he was great. So
you know what? Has Darren Normus done the Ned podcast yet?
Yes, he did.
Oh, that's what I thought.
I'd love to talk to him. Cosmo.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And
Yeah.
also, I know Tori has questions, but I don't know if you just want to wait to her last because she's always the one that asks us questions. So do you want to get you to your questions first, and then
Yeah,
I'll
go ahead and
ask
get him
her
out of the
next?
way. Mine are different. Go ahead and get him out of the way. Mine are different.
Yeah, go ahead and get yours out the way first, and then
Tori out of the way.
I'll get mine out the way because yours is different. Okay, I'll just go with Tori's then. So Tori has a question. Tori has about three. I'm can't take a look. If I could take a look here. Yep. So I think it's three, but I could be wrong. She says, "What's your favorite show you've written for?" And you've already confirmed that it was probably Blue's Clues or Blue's Room. We're working with them.
Oh, well, I mean, it was actually Rugrats, I'd have to say.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, there you
Oh,
go.
okay.
They
So
were
I
all
was
great.
close. I knew it
Yeah,
was
they're all,
Nickelodeon. So
yeah. Rugrats, it was just, you know, I don't think I'll ever have that experience again, especially these
yeah,
days when it's really hard for a show to break out and be a huge
yeah,
worldwide hit.
Yeah.
And that was
It came
Rugrats
back.
at the time. It was kind of the most popular cartoon in the world, I think, at that time. And
Yeah.
it just
it was.
yeah. And it was amazing. So everybody I knew that was in my family knew the show, and they were like, "Oh, this is awesome!" So it was really cool. And
Yeah.
Honestly,
and
who would not have loved Rugrats in the '90s? To be honest with you,
I grew up in the 90s.
and I'll tell you the other thing about that cast. That was an amazing cast too. And
yes,
you got the
Yes.
four Rugrats in a room. They were all women, you know, but they were all
Yeah.
like,
E.G. Daily, Castucci.
yeah,
yep,
Cast is
Yep.
awesome.
Christine Cavanaugh back before.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they were like four stand-up comedians. You'd be like,
Yeah.
if it's like sitting
Yeah.
watching a comedy show when they were in the record. It was amazing. So
And then you got Nancy Cartwright to come in and take over, which was amazing.
yep,
yeah,
And they're still
Yep.
going to this day. They came back.
yeah. It's amazing. So that was a fantastic cast and a great show at the time. And I got to do
Yeah.
all a national comic strip and video games. So that
Yeah.
was,
great.
I don't think I'll be able to top that probably, but we'll see.
They should have you back on the new one.
And then, Encha, I think she actually asked you a pretty good question. She had, "What do you like best about being a writer?"
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean, I'm very fortunate. You know, I'm very lucky to be doing what I'm doing, and I'm thankful for it every day. I enjoy, like, you know, I haven't worked in an office in 10 years. I've run shows, but I haven't worked in an office. So for a long time, I was just happy to be on my own terms, and you know, you can write on your own hours essentially, except when you're on staff. But so that's a great bonus of it. The other bonus is, you know, I kind of got into sketch writing, into comedy writing per se, because I just love, you know, making people laugh. You know, like it's an honor to do that. It's I'm lucky enough to have been able to do that, and so that's really like the joy for me is in writing is that, you know, that's what I'm always trying to bring the humor to stuff. I'm always looking for sharp characters, humorous characters, because I think kids, even when you're on a show that's about learning, like if a kid is laughing, that's helping them learn. You know, it's helping them get into it more.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
That's awesome.
so I'm just proud to, you know, be able to entertain people, you know, and Rugrats, they used to have screenings for the episodes, like after we wrote them before they aired. And I'd sit in those screenings so nervous, you know, like, are people going to laugh and what are they going to think of it? It's really nerve wracking for a writer, you know? And
it had a spinoff. It had two
spinoffs. Yeah. But it's the greatest joy when you see someone laugh at your work. And I worked on All Grown Up a little. And the other one was
the Cancel spinoff.
Yeah. Preschool Days.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said for her final question, what inspired you to write for children's shows? Which I think is which I think is just the best, probably a good question too, because I think you explained that a little bit, but if you want to go in depth a little more, you can.
Sure. You know, it's funny. I kind of fell into it to begin with, honestly. I know a lot of folks who set out to write in kids shows. I was the guy who came from Phoenix with like my sitcom specs, like, you know, I was trying to get into sitcoms, and Rugrats just happened to be the first show that gave me work. And it's embarrassing to say this, but I've said this before. Like I was like Angelica when Rugrats first reached out to me. I'm like, I don't want to write on this dumb baby show because I hadn't seen it. I was that I didn't know what it was, and I was like, oh, I don't want to. I want to write for sitcoms, and then I actually watched the show, and I'm like, oh, this is brilliant. And I was super thankful to write for it. So I kind of fell into it, and I've been lucky enough to just work on some great shows, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've been lucky enough to work on shows that are fun and funny, and have a lot of them have layers for kids and adults, you know. And less and less that's happening, but I appreciate those shows that throw in a few jokes for the adults now and then. So,
yeah. It's not on camera, but I've actually got to talk to the voice of Angelica, and she might be coming on in the future, hopefully. And she's awesome.
Who is it?
Cheryl Chase.
Oh, Cheryl. Oh, yeah. I know Cheryl.
She's awesome.
Yeah, cool.
I do have 3 questions for you. 2 of them, one of them, it's kind of crazy. First question comes from mine and Ben's good friend, Dippy the Pie Bear. What was it like writing for Rugrats?
It was...
Or the spinoff, All Grown Up.
It was great. I mean, Rugrats, I've never written on a show like it since, because it's just such specific characters. They threw in adult stuff like half the time too. So Rugrats was a very it was a very unique blend of an adult show with kind of a kid show, and more so than any show I can think of since, really, where it was really we'd sit and write and we'd think of the story for the kids, and then we'd think of the story for the adults, you know, like the runner.
Yeah, it's always nice to bring the adults into like the cartoon part of whatever franchise too. It's always great to bring the adults in there too.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: you can always make something for adults, but you can't always make something for children.
Yeah,
exactly. I think it's actually harder to write for kids than it is to write for adults. So
it is.
That's one of my theories.
There you go. So I know this is a 2-parter. I got more.
Okay.
Comes from Alex Wiggleland, who's a co-host on from Up 18. What was it like writing for the Not Too Late show with Elmo? And here's the question: did you write the Pentatonics episode? Because IMDb says you did.
IMDb is correct, and again,
there you go. I know Alex is a fan of them.
Kudos to your research.
Thank you.
The Not Too Late show was great. Like I watched Sesame Street growing up.
Who didn't?
Yeah,
I did.
And as a writer, as a kid's writer, it's kind of like the peak, you know. I had never really been like, oh, I have to write for Sesame Street. I have to write for Sesame Street. But again, the guy who ended up head writing Sesame Street, I'd known for a decade before that. He head wrote Curious George with his wife Ken Scarborough and Ray Langford.
Oh, nice.
And he was involved in Arthur early on. I think developed it or created it.
Cool.
Awesome.
Nice.
And I knew some folks from Sesame, from Nickelodeon. Kay Wilson Stallings was an exec at Nickelodeon, and she went on to be an exec at Sesame. So they kind of brought me in to that. That was my way in, and it was very freeform. You know, they've been doing it for so long. You know.
Yeah.
I felt like either they'd be very like, this is what you have to do, and we're going to figure out exactly what the show is. It was more like, hey, can I pitch this scene where Grover has a jetpack?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And they're like, yeah, go write something with Grover has a jetpack. So it would be, oh, hey, Ernie's listening now.
Yeah, that's better.
Hi there.
He has other characters too. Hi, Ernie.
That's awesome. So yeah, it was very freeform in a way, and very like write whatever you think is fun. So
yeah. And then Purple's other question is, what is your favorite episode of Curious George to write?
Oh. Back to Curious George. Yeah, Ken got me in on that.
Yeah.
Curious George was fun because it was I think the only show I wrote on that my kids were fans of first. So, and I watched as a fan myself. I watched it just as a dad.
It's a good show.
Like, this is a really good show. And then they called me up to write for it, and I was like a fan myself. And God, what was my favorite episode? It's called Hundley Jr.
Yeah.
It's Jr. I'm trying to think.
It's where Hundley finds a caterpillar, and he and George kind of raise the caterpillar, and it turns into a butterfly at the end, of course. So.
Oh, I think I might have seen that one because I used to watch Curious George back in
the episode's on YouTube.
I used to watch the show back in 2009, 2010. So yeah, I used to watch it. Yeah,
I too used to watch it.
But I hope that thank you all for asking questions.
That is.
Yeah,
Jordan, we got questions. Jordan, do you have a question?
No, not really.
Okay.
All right.
But thank you all for asking questions. Thank you for all the fan questions, you guys. Guys, this is getting better and better as we're going on. and this is getting better. You know, I can't wait to see what questions you guys have for more guests. And if you know the guests, just come on and just come on and just come on and ask. That's all I want to do. I want you to interact with the guests too. So
exactly.
we hope that this answers you guys' questions that you guys wanted, and I hope the questions will be fulfilled.
Yeah. I gotta bring this show up. You worked on Backyardigans also, which is crazy because one of your episodes, I think you wrote it, turned into a meme on Instagram. I don't know if you know about this.
No, I don't. Which episode?
Yeah, it's on Instagram. Alex, co-host, found it, and that was the episode special delivery.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. That's awesome. Is it a good meme or a bad meme? Should I look at it?
It's kind of funny because it's like it's not really a meme. But it's like say something and it's fast or something. It's weird. Alex loves it.
Is it like one of the songs?
No.
Yeah, is it?
Oh, I thought it was.
I'll set it in the podcast chat after because I know where it is.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
I know
Cool.
Castaways was popular though.
Yes, Castaways was popular.
And so was Into the Thick of It.
Yes. Because those were memes back in like 2021 on TikTok. Everybody was doing the memes. Crazy.
Yeah, they even put that on YouTube.
Yeah. Everybody was going crazy for those memes.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's just them fast talking at one scene.
Okay.
That's
Well, that's cool.
crazy.
I think that was a super fun show too. So
yeah, it's an iconic show.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, the creator of it.
Yeah, rest in peace. Janice Burgess just died earlier this year.
Yeah.
It's tragic. Yeah. Janice was great. Janice was very much in my philosophy, and she was really a big proponent of this, of doing just fun shows for kids without lessons per se, just imaginative play, you know? So, and that was a great thing about Backyardigans. There's really no lessons. Not that shows with lessons are bad, they're just different, you know, but kids need that imaginative aspect too, you know, and Backyardigans really did that really well, so.
Yeah.
Would you come back? Maybe we could have one of the movers on you on. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Hey, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I love the movers.
Have you and Mike Rab on so we get both on again.
You know, we got to do something special here because if you know all these people, you gotta
help us get some of these people. Like some of these people,
you got to, man.
Sure.
And
Krista Turner, I definitely want to talk to. Krista Turner was on OSO.
Yeah. And you know something in the past, you know, I have to try to ask guys, and they said that they were going to help me, but I don't know if they ever got. Some of them didn't even get back, or some of it never happened. So I would love to have some guests, if you can fill in a few words. I definitely want a writer from Animal Jam. That is definitely one I want. I have to know more about the writing process of the show. I have to know about it. I do.
Okay.
Can I say in September you're having the theme song writer on?
Yes, I am, and I'll say the name probably when we get closer.
Yeah, he's going to be on.
Yeah, send me a list of any folks you guys really want to interview the most.
Yes.
I will.
Reach out.
Yes.
I'll send it to LinkedIn.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Chris is definitely up there for me because I love the Haney Manny crossover with Ozo.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet, but I will.
I have. It was a great crossover.
Yeah, I have. I think I've seen a clip of it, but I haven't watched.
I've seen the whole episode a lot of times.
It's awesome. It's on Disney Plus.
11 times.
Yeah. Well, then I'll have to watch it.
I think I watched it on Disney Junior when I was little or something.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I have to ask you this, because I don't know if you know this. Did you know that Rugrats and Wild Thornberrys ended the same way with the movie? Did you know about this? Because they ended with the movie. I don't know if you knew this.
Ended like the series or the...
Yeah, they both ended with the movie Go Wild.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah, I remember that movie.
Oh, yeah, I think I've seen that.
Yeah, it was a crossover.
Yeah, it was a crossover. Yeah. That's how they ended them.
Okay, you know what? I got an interesting question. Do you know Lancy Chambert? Have you met her?
Oh, the actress, Lacey?
Yes.
No.
Oh, Lacey Chabert.
Yeah.
I wrote one Thornberrys, but I didn't go to record or anything. So yeah,
okay, so you wrote for Wild Thornberrys, so you didn't meet her. Okay.
No.
Hey, that's fine. That's totally fine. You know.
I'm no help there. Yep.
No. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
I know the voice actor Darwin is retired now or something.
Darwin, yeah.
A monkey. That show was big too. It had Flea on it.
I was just thinking, Flea was
Donnie.
on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a great. And Tim Curry.
It was.
Mhm.
He's still around. He's awesome.
That was a great cast.
It would be really cool if we did get one of those boy like actress / voice actors on this podcast.
I'll just get the voice of Debbie because the voice of Debbie is doing horror stuff now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe. Yeah, honestly, I don't know why, but I've kind of wanted Ashley Johnson in a way. Like she was. I don't know. Did you ever write for Recess? I'm just curious. Did you write for Recess?
No.
I didn't think you did. I didn't think you did write for like any more of the older Disney stuff. I don't know if you did or not.
A little. I mean, I did like Jungle Junction and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But
Oh
Ooh,
yeah.
Junction.
yeah.
The Jungle
I remember
Junction.
that show. That was a good show.
The Jungle Junction was. I like the Gotta Zip song though. Gotta
Yeah.
Zip. Gotta
Me
Zip.
too.
Gotta Zip. Gotta
And
zip.
off of,
Yeah,
Wheels.
and everyone moved around on wheels instead of feet.
And
Yeah,
besides
that's true.
that, for Nickelodeon, you also wrote for Olivia, which is iconic.
Oh, Olivia.
Yeah, that was a fun show.
I remember
actually,
that.
I think I got involved through one of the women from Jungle Junction. Believe it or
There
not.
you go.
Holly Huckins.
All connection.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an amazing show. I find it crazy when we interviewed Mike. He didn't know his episode when it came out. It was on YouTube.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Sometimes I don't even know my own guess. I don't even know my own guess. I don't even remember just the short stuff of because we have to record so much.
Yeah.
You're
You
still
know-
working for Sesame, if I'm right, with Mecha Builders, right?
Yes. Yeah. I'm. The show is in between seasons now. We're waiting to hear what's going to happen with it. But yeah, that I story edited season 2, and that was a fantastic show. You know, it's all the characters that do the voices for the puppets. It's all the main voices.
Yeah. Speaking of voices, I'll let you know I do know the current Elmo. I interviewed him on the other podcast also, Ryan Dillon.
Oh yeah, I know Ryan.
Yeah.
A little bit. He's great.
He'd be cool to talk to, Samuel.
Yeah.
They're all great. And
I'd love to talk to the people. I know Stephanie Bruiser also.
Okay.
I'd love to talk to. Let's get Peter Lenz on.
Yeah, Peter Lenz. Let's get Leslie.
Yes.
Everybody.
We've already had Ricky Boyd. We've already had Ricky Boyd on. So that's great.
John
Yeah.
Trapaglia, come on.
Yeah. So Wyatt talked to him on the other podcast, and me and Martin, along with 2 other people that are just semi co-host, we talked to him back in June of 2022, and we got to talk to him a lot about Animal Jam and such like that. So that was great too. That was great too. So, and
That's
then
awesome.
right after that, the next episode, you came in the next episode, Jordan. So yeah, you came in when we actually interviewed Michael and Patty Silvershear. That was a great episode too. I'm gonna have to get him on for your podcast. Wyatt.
Yes, please. I'd love to talk to him. Ben, they wrote together forever for Elmo and Grouchland.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
love to talk to them. Any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I did start my own podcast with Ben and a few others.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Muppet cast too is brilliant in improvisational, like between scenes. I got to watch them film some of my episodes on Zoom because they were in New York again, but they're all like stand-up comedians too. Like
yeah.
One
Hey,
of my
hold
very
on, I'm confused. What'd you do with the What'd you do for the Muppets?
well, not Muppets. Sorry, I mean
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. Although I did write the Muppets CD-ROM for Muppets in Space. Believe it or not.
Wow! Wow!
I knew that, I would have had the DVD in the background because I have the DVD.
Me
I don't
too.
think it ever came out. Honestly, I think the movie underperformed and they didn't release the game. So,
I can kind of see why it underperformed because there's issues
Yeah.
with it. Like, for example, I'm gonna point this out. I had to admit, I think knows this. Gonzo sounds like Grover at one point in the movie.
Oh my
Which is
gosh!
crazy.
Oh my gosh! Yes, yeah. You know what? I did get a lot of. I did hear that movie had a lot of critical stuff to it because I don't know.
It was all songs from the '80s when it came out.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I do know. But I will say, Ricky Boyd did make an appearance in it, like he did say. He was in there as a Gonzo fan. So if you did not watch Muppets in Space, Ricky Boyd is there.
Yeah, I don't think
I
it did
saw
come
it.
out.
Yeah.
They need to release it. If you did it, come on, put it out there.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the movie years ago, but it's kind of lost. And I may be remembering this wrong, but I feel like right when Frank Oz was getting out of the franchise, and it was like I feel like it was one of the last things he recorded was that, and it was never released. So
I would ask if you came in contact with him, because I'd love to talk to him.
No.
Yeah, Frank Oz is pretty famous, and so is Steve Whitmire and Matt Vogel.
I met Steve Whitmire. I'd love to talk to him on here and ask questions. Steve Whitmire.
Yeah, I'm not cool enough to know any of those guys.
Yeah.
You do know the movers, so that's at least good.
Yeah.
That's at least good you know the movers. So because I grew up listening to their music.
I don't know if it said, but after your interview goes out, Ben's going to contact Scott Durbin, so hopefully he can have be on here.
Yes. Yes.
They're all great.
They are.
Absolutely. My gosh, we've been talking for like over an hour now, which is this has been
probably the best interview. I'm sorry.
This is probably one of the greatest. You know, this is definitely up there as one of the best interviews because I gotta say,
Scott, I've definitely sent you the link of people.
Because Scott, you're a pretty chill dude. You sound like a chill
You
dude,
are.
man. I like you.
Oh, thank you. And you guys are awesome. So yeah.
Thank you. And you seem to be very supportive of us. You seem to be very supportive, and you already seem like a massive fan of this podcast.
Yeah.
Even though some people have complained about it, but that's okay. Only one person.
I'm bringing this up from the movers. Do you still keep in touch with Wendy?
Just social media. Yeah, I'm Facebook friends with her. I'm LinkedIn friends with her. So I don't know that.
Can you help us get her? Because I'm trying to connect with her, and I interviewed her on the other podcast. I'd love for them to interview her.
Yeah, again, like send me a list, and I
will. It'll be long.
Well, it's funny, Wendy. I emailed her. It's probably been like 5 years where I forget I was going to Hawaii for a trip where my son was for something. And I asked her some tips about Hawaii, and she wrote back and was super helpful. And
she's pretty. I love to talk to her again. That's her home, Hawaii, which is
Yep.
Something crazy. I didn't even know about this, and I'll bring this up for you guys because Samuel and Martin and Jordan don't know this. But her husband played Eddie the Monster in the episode you wrote, which was a monster problem.
I didn't know that he played that.
But
I didn't write that one actually.
He said that he did or something like that.
That was another writer, but I don't know. That could be true. I don't know how they met. So.
I think that might have been. I don't know. I thought it was you because that was season 2.
Yeah. And she has her own dance studio.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I said I kind of like the first season better of the Imagination Movers. I don't know why, because I liked all the funniness that came in it.
By the way, you want to say it wasn't you. It says it was you on Disneypedia that you wrote that episode.
That I wrote a monster problem?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
It was number 6.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what it is, though? Here's the weird thing about Movers.
This the Halloween episode. Trivia.
Yeah, Movers, we all got credited on every episode.
That's what it was.
Yeah, so that's what it would be. That was some weird rule because it was a Writers Guild show, and that was honestly, it was to save money for the production company. Like if you do it like group writing credits, it's a different show category or something that's cheaper. So
of course.
Who wrote it now? We gotta find him. Maybe Rick Gilson wrote it because it says he did on the wiki also.
Yeah.
I believe that was one of Randy's episodes.
Oh, there we go. We'll talk to him.
Yeah, she's a she. Yeah.
We'll talk to her.
Yeah.
Here we go.
But that was a great show because it's Writers Guild and live action. That was really nice too. It's one of the few shows I've gotten residuals for. And all writers of live action primetime shows get residuals, but animation writers don't for the most part. So so that was nice. Yeah. Wow, you have had quite another one that's had quite a career on that we've interviewed here. We've interviewed people that just have had minor careers, and I say, well, you still had quite the career if you know a lot of these things, and you've seemed like that you've worked on a lot of these things, Scott. So that's
you did.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm lucky.
I've been tip my hat for that.
Thank you.
I've been lucky for your work.
Thank you.
Just
and Ben actually tipped his hat. Yeah.
Ben tipped his hat.
His Smitty hat. Yeah.
Just we've had people that have just worked on. We've had people that have just worked on every station. We've like
Yeah.
every cable station. We've got people that worked on a
We're
lot
covering
of
everybody.
every movie production, and now we've had a writer. So
Yeah.
there you go. That's
I
another thing.
and I will bring this up. Ben mentioned the movers. Smitty was he on fire? Is where he was, Ben?
Yeah, he was doing. Yeah, he's a firefighter, so
Yeah,
yeah,
he
he
was
was
doing
doing.
something. So Ben didn't meet him, but he has a photo with all the movers except for Smitty.
Okay. Oh, he was
Yeah.
putting out a fire, literally.
Yeah.
Actually,
So hopefully we get to talk to Smitty and Ben can finally meet him.
the day I met them, Rich's son was actually filling in for Smitty.
Yeah.
Oh
I
wow.
can bring this up, Ben. The viewers or watch this episode will listen to it, but show Scott the sign thing that you got from them, the autograph.
The hat or what?
No, the other thing.
This?
Yes, yes. Look at this, Scott.
Ooh.
I got
that's
this.
awesome.
Actually, I got this in the mail. Actually, I sent them a fan
Wow.
art before.
Oh
I sent
wow.
them a fan art before I met them, and then they just.
They just sent that just without you even asking, really. Is that it?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then of course he also has Dave's hat.
Yeah.
He's getting it.
That's awesome.
Oh,
And they
wow.
signed it too. Dave's hat they did. There it is.
Very cool.
I think
All
so.
right. All right. Wow. This was great. This was great.
I definitely can't
Yep.
wait to have you back on.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you guys. It's
Oh,
been
guys,
great
this was-
talking.
Yeah, we're just waiting for Ben to show off things, and then if anybody has anything final
don't.
to say. All right.
So-
Ben, do you have any more questions?
I don't think so.
I know I don't.
Wait.
It's nice to meet such. Okay.
Do you,
Martin,
Martin?
do you have any more questions?
Oh, no.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we can still. Yeah, we can still chit chat. I mean, this has been another great interview, man. I just gotta
It has
say.
been.
Oh, good.
I definitely to do the list, like I said. So
Let's see if I can. I'm going to go on and get to the little bit of the question, like maybe the last few questions that I ask all guests.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to get to. So if anybody wants to become a writer,
Yeah.
Scott, what do you think they should do?
Do you have any advice for them if they want to get into writing?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's important to figure out what kind of shows you like, and you need samples. That's the first thing. Like,
Yeah.
you need samples to show people to show that you can write. So take some time to write some samples, scripts. You need at least 2, because if you have one really good one, the next question from someone is going to be, "This is great. What else do you have?" So have at least 2 great sample scripts. Figure out what genre you want to be in. Like even kids TV is like, there's older kids TV, there's younger kids TV, there's live action. So kind of target if you want to do adult, if you want to do kids, if you want to do animation. Write those specs in that genre, and then just work as many contacts as you can to break in. It's even, I think it's easier and harder these days, because it's easier to make contacts with people on social media. Like back when I started, there was no social media, there was no internet. So,
yeah, of course.
Nowadays you can reach out on LinkedIn, like I've done,
Mhm.
like you guys do, and like people will talk to you, and
Exactly.
so it's definitely, get yourself out there and start trying to meet people that you admire, like the shows you like. Reach out to those people, and
There you go.
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Yeah, man. And all right. Thanks for that advice. And so
Thank you.
now this is actually the final question. And I asked this to all
Oh,
my
no, I have
guests.
one more. I have
Wait,
one more.
what's
If
that?
people want to get in touch with you or contact with you, where can people find you?
I'm on LinkedIn, like Scott Gray. So so that'd be the best place, and to reach out first, I think.
There you
Yeah.
go. All right, Samuel, go ahead.
All right. Sorry about that, Wyatt. I
Okay.
didn't know you did. But
I should ask
so
that question.
so this is the question that I ask all my guests. I ask all my guests this question. And so this is Entertainment Treasure Talk with, of course, me, Samuel Warwick, of course. And usually I like to ask this question to everybody. What is something that is entertainment treasure to you? Like here's the thing. When you pull up something in pop culture like music, video games, TV, or or anything like that, when you or even a book, if you when you pull up any of those things or discover any of those things, what is something that is entertainment treasure to you? Like, what is probably some of your favorite entertainment series of all time?
Yeah.
Excellent question. Yeah, what's my comfort food for
Like,
entertainment?
Yeah. What's your
yeah.
comfort food for shows and stuff,
Oh,
movies?
well, I'll tell you, I'm a big fan of Godzilla and giant monsters in general.
Yes.
So
Ooh.
I'm a
I can
sucker
see
for
that.
anything.
I can see
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
that's
Same.
why I
Godzilla
love.
was pretty good.
I'll show you guys
Yeah.
this. That's why I love Reptar, and I've always loved Reptar. And
Yes.
Nice.
Reptar Pop.
Oh, that is
Reptar.
nice. That is nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, that definitely answers the question that I asked us. That definitely answers it. And if you want
Yeah.
to sum it up more a little bit, you can. You can go
But
ahead.
that's kind of like my comfort food for sure. But I also love. I'm a big music guy, and I love like the Beatles. I love
There you go.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
We know Alex will
British
love that.
invasion
Beatles,
stuff.
yes. Beatles,
Yeah.
yes. Beatles, yes. Well, mine. And speaking of the Beatles, I know that one of the Beatles starred in probably one of my favorite shows of all time, which is of
Thomas
course
Brooks.
Thomas and Friends.
Yeah, Ringo.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yep, the
Yeah.
model series of Thomas is the best. Seasons 1 through 11 mainly, and some of 12, because season 12 is when they started to do the CGI, is when I thought Thomas was just like, oh yeah, this is gonna just not be good anymore. So
Ringo was on Thomas. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
Ringo,
yeah, he
right?
was on the
Yeah.
first two
Yeah.
seasons. He was on the first
Yep.
2 seasons.
That's
And
that's my goal in writing, by the way, is to have a Beatle perform my work. So it's it's a
There
lofty
you go.
goal.
Either Ringo
Or
or
have us.
Paul.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Get Ringo or Paul.
Yeah. Paul's written children's books. I don't know if you've
Oh
seen
wow.
that, but yeah.
I think I've
Yep.
heard about that. Paul's written children's books. I think I've heard about that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So fingers crossed.
Also, I bring
Paul,
this
if
up.
you're listening, yeah.
Yeah,
keep going.
maybe he'll find this podcast one day.
He might be on here in the future.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Also, you
All right.
mentioned Reptar. I played the crap out of that game that you wrote, Search for Reptar. One of the best.
Oh, that's awesome. That was a fun one.
It was.
Yeah, I was honestly, for a while I kind of liked video games better than television. I will be honest with you, I did, because I liked the Mario and Sonic video games. Because let me tell you, the music in the video games were just so excellent. It was good, and I honestly, to be honest, I feel like composers that just compose for TV shows, I actually kind of like listening to music scores a little more than I do actual music, like Taylor Swift or
Yeah.
let's see what else, Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez, Demi Lovato. Even though they're good and they've done acting too, but
Mm-hmm. They started
Yeah.
off in Barney.
yeah, they started off in Barney. Selena and Demi started off in Barney, if you didn't know.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow,
Heck,
no, I didn't know
heck,
that.
it's coming back. Barney's coming back.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
something there too.
I'm a big film score guy too, by the way. So I listen to film music a lot when I'm writing.
Nice.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. You got to show us some more of your work too, man. That's something.
Can we see this Warehouse Mouse picture? Because you mentioned it earlier, the one with you and Warehouse Mouse.
Let me see if I can find it.
I want to see this.
It's got Kevin in it.
Yeah.
All right, pull it up
Awesome.
for us.
I want to see this. The viewers won't see this, but I want to see this because it come out audio. We'll put some behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
All right. I'm trying to find the right file name here. So it was a long time ago. It was like 15 years ago. So
Okay. Yeah. 15 years ago, 2008. Hey, you were still alive then. So there we go.
I'm gonna get it. Give me a second. Yeah, that was it was from the trip I took out there. The first trip I went twice, and that was the first time they had me out, and got
wow.
to see an episode film, and it was great.
I know they have the new Warehouse Mouse puppet also. If you don't know, which is cool.
No.
Because the one that they used on the show belongs to Disney.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right, I found it. How do I
All
show
right.
it to you guys? What's the best way to do that?
There should be a.
There should be a
thing
share link there.
Yeah,
it's
it's next to the hand on computers. Present now, like
Yeah.
it's an up arrow, a
Okay.
square with an up arrow.
Let me export this to my desktop so I can find it for sure. It's another fun thing about the Imagination Movers, like Mr. Nitnots. He was based in Los Angeles, I believe, but they had to move him. They moved him out to New Orleans to film.
Yeah.
And he was just a really nice old gentleman, and he used to get a bicycle and ride around New Orleans on his bicycle. So Mr. Nitnots would ride around New Orleans on his bicycle.
I think they got rid of him after season 1, I believe, is what I remember.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I like the first season better, because it had Nitnots and just the funniness saying, Nitnots said, "That's too exciting."
Yeah.
Douglas Fisher.
Yeah. Yep.
And then there was an original one too. The Nerd Pilot came out for the Movers.
I don't know that one. I don't think
it's out on YouTube, but it's completely different. But there's a different Nitnots, and Nina's not even in it. Her name is
I love you.
Oh yeah, I do remember this. Yeah,
So
it was developed by my mentor Rick, so he probably dealt with all that.
Oh, that'd be cool. I definitely want to talk to him because that'd be cool. Ben, did you hear that?
What?
His mentor developed the Imagination Movers Unaired pilot.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, yeah, we
That
gotta
was
get
great
him on too.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk to him about that. That pilot's a comic.
I'll reach out to him. So, sorry guys, do I share it here?
All right, there should be like a share button.
There's a up arrow with a
yeah.
Looks like an up arrow with a square.
Actually, wait. There's like three. You know those 3 dots that are there. You know those 3 dots.
Yes.
Yeah, you click on the 3 dots and then so there's like 3 dots there. Then it should tell you to screen share.
Yeah, then next to the 3 dots is a hand, and next to the hand is a present now.
Okay. Oh, you're talking about like literally doing a screen share? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
That's what it is.
All right, I'll give you the one with Warehouse Mouse and Kevin Carlson.
All right, I'll see this.
All right, let me see if I can do this. I'm not on Google a lot. I'm usually on the Zoom. So
understandable.
Yeah, that's understandable. Understand.
This is better though because we don't have to rejoin every 45 minutes.
Yeah, so that's why I'm doing Google. That's why I'm doing Google.
So present now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me try this. All right. Hopefully this will work.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. I see it.
We see it.
We see
I
it.
don't see it.
Yeah, we see it.
I'm not seeing
I don't
it
see
yet.
it. Where is
You're
it?
not seeing it yet? Yeah, you'll see it. You'll see it, Jordan.
See it.
You'll see
Oh
it.
yeah, I can see it now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, there it
Wow.
is.
Yes. Oh
Oh,
my
there you
God.
go.
That is
That's
cool. That is cool
behind the
there.
scene.
Awesome. Yes.
That's
nice.
Yes, that is a behind the scenes. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a fun.
Behind the scenes.
Nice. Well, I
Thank
hope
you.
that picture was the finale there.
Yeah. Thank you so much. By the way. It's
Scott,
been an honor.
Scott,
Sure.
man, thank you for joining us, man. That was awesome, and gosh, this is a very
We'll definitely
long
send you
episode.
the list. We're definitely Rick Leeson. We definitely got to talk to you about the pilot.
Yeah.
All right, I'll reach out to him. Yeah, thank you guys. This has been amazing. It's great to meet such fans. It's really nice.
Thank you. Same with Krista, because I'd love to talk to her. Osa was a big hit.
Yeah, and Ben's got a Sesame shirt on now too. He's going through all his
Ben's a
swag.
Sesame Street fan.
Wow.
I was wearing this earlier today.
Ben, you've switched. Ben, you have switched a lot. You switched outfits a lot during this episode.
He's like a TV show. He has the wardrobe. You can't see him.
Oh, look, he's got this. Oh, look, he's got that. That was funny.
Next thing is to bring out one of his other characters because I know he has other puppets over there.
Yeah.
You
Well,
want me to try?
All right.
well,
Thank
You want me to try to bring some others out?
No, you don't have to, Ben.
all right. And well, I think that must be a goodbye from us as well from Scott, and a goodbye to us as well.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining this episode of the Entertainment Treasure Talk. I can't wait for episode 25
Same.
for Tessa. Make sure
We're
y'all
definitely
get your
looking forward to
questions
having
in
you
for
back
that.
on, by the way.
Yep.
Awesome.
Have you
Thank
back.
you guys.
Yeah,
It's
I
been a
cannot
pleasure.
wait
You're
for episode
It's been
25
our
to come
pleasure
out.
too.
And
All
it
right,
has
great
been
to
a
meet you
pleasure.
guys.
Great to meet you
Thank
too,
you.
Scott. And like I said, that is a goodbye from us as well, guys. And just if this was your first episode, thank you for joining for this episode of the Entertainment Treasure Talk. And we cannot wait to see you guys next time for episode 25 when we interview supposedly Tessa Ludwig. And we will see you guys on that episode.
They're worth it. Bye.
And
Bye.
Thanks.
see you, everybody.
Farewell.
Thank you.
Make sure keep digging for treasure.
Have a good day.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Entertainment Treasure Talk. We hope that you had fun and that you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, maybe you'd like to watch or hear more episodes of the show. The link to the playlist is in the description. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more upcoming episodes. And don't forget that you're awesome and that you too are filled with entertainment treasure. See you next time for another great episode of the podcast. Peace out.